Well, according to the FBI, Jewish people make up nearly 2.4% of the U.S. population and are nearly 1 in 10 of all hate crimes and 55% of religious hate crimes. Joining us now to discuss how a new national campaign from the nonprofit Foundation of Combat Anti-Semitism will help offer guidance and resources, and that is Executive Director Matthew Berger. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us. And first of all, I have to say those numbers are truly very troubling and astounding to me. I'm surprised, actually, that this is going on. How prevalent is this?
Yeah, we've known that anti-Semitism has been on the rise for several years, but unfortunately, our research has shown that more than half of Americans don't recognize that anti-Semitism is a problem in our community today. So that's part of our campaign. We're focused on raising awareness. And the fact that you just mentioned that the Jewish community is only 2.4% of the US population, yet we're the victims of 55% of religious-based hate crimes. That disparity, waking people up to that disparity, is really at the cornerstone of our campaign.
Well, Matthew, what can people do? I mean, I'm guessing it's important for everyone to stand up against this Jewish hate. I mean, Jews and non-Jews alike, just to let people know this isn't acceptable.
Exactly. We want people to recognize that they have a role to play in addressing anti-Semitism. The same way that we would expect and anticipate people to speak out if they encountered racism or gender inequality or other ills in our society, we want the same thing to happen when people see anti-Semitism. You know, a lot of the anti-Semitism that people see, they think are innocuous. It's a comment here or a stereotype there. But while each of the individual instances may not be problematic on their own, when they're compounded, when they're left unchecked, they create an environment in which people feel more comfortable to scapegoat Jews, to stigmatize Jews, and that creates an environment in which people see Jews as the other, see them as not part of their community, and then they're more likely to do things that are more substantial, such as harassment, threats, violence.
And Matthew, are you seeing this pretty much around the country, all around the country? Are the numbers showing up everywhere?
We've seen it in big cities with large Jewish populations. We've seen it in other parts of the country with smaller Jewish populations. It's unfortunately a national problem. And where it's really showing up is on social media. People feel free to say and do things on social media platforms that they would never do in person. And what happens is somebody who has these beliefs will say it on social media, and they'll find people from across the country or around the world who share their beliefs, and they'll be empowered by that. And therefore, a lot of this goes unchecked.
Well, Matthew, in the few seconds we have left, just tell me a little bit more about this nationwide campaign and what people can expect from this and how people can help too.
Sure. So we're we're launching the Blue Square campaign. We are asking people to post and share the Blue Square. You'll see the Blue Square show up on screens across the country, and it takes up 2.4% of your screen, the way the Jewish community is 2.4% of the population. We want people to post and share the Blue Square to show that they care about anti-Semitism and they're joining us in the fight.
All right, Matthew Berger with the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. Thank you so much for joining us and shedding light on this important topic today.
Thanks for having me.